Hi, everybody. It's Judy Clock, your independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Middletown, Virginia. And I'm recording this today. This was my video that I was supposed to do last week, but family came first, so I couldn't get it done. So I'm here today to kind of go over what I wanted to do last week. January, I'm all about simple stamping. Many people have gotten new supplies over the holidays. They're brand new to stamping. A lot of us avid crafters forget about the basics. So today we're going to take a step back and we're going to do just some simple stamping with stamps, inks, and paper. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we're going to be working with. Hopefully, fingers crossed, my internet connection will stay stable. But today we're going to be working with this adorable Darling Dinos, or Dinos, I guess. It is in the new mini catalog that will be coming out on January 7th. And it is also one of the optional classes that you can purchase during Creativity in Bloom, which is our 2-day retreat coming up in March. So we're going to do our first card is really just going to be all about the stamps, the inks, and the paper. We're just going to use some fun colors. Then we're going to do a little technique here, color blocking. And this is where we actually use our block, our clear block, to just kind of create that focal point of color on our card. And we're just going to use our basic black ink. And then we're going to get a little colorful. We're going to do a little bit of, again, simple stamping, but we're going to add some coloring with our Stampin' Blends, because some people have Stampin' Blends and they're just not sure how to use them. So let's go ahead. Again, I don't know why I am having such a hard time with this internet connection. It keeps going in and out. We're under a winter weather watch, winter storm watch. So I don't know if we're on satellite internet here. So I don't know if that's playing a role, but let's go ahead and get started. Let's start with our color blocking technique. So our card base is going to be Lemon Lime Twist. It'll be our standard base of 8.5 by 5.5. I've scored it at 4 1/4. I have a piece of basic white for the inside. That's 5 1/4 by 4. And then I've cut this piece of basic white down to 3 3/4 by 5. Now, don't worry, I will write a blog post that will have all of these measurements. So if you don't catch them now during the video, there will be a link to the corresponding blog post where you can go and watch and get all the dimensions and all the supplies that I used. So this is one of my favorite techniques because it's so easy to do. So I'm going to take my ink pad. I've got my Lemon Lime ink pad. And I'm going to take one of our clear blocks. This is a D size block. And I am just going to literally just stamp the block on our ink pad. All right, I'm going to get it nice and inky. Okay, we got lots of beautiful ink on there. Let's go ahead and close up our ink pad for now. Now I'm going to take one of our spritzers. This is one of our watercolor spritzers. Okay, let me move these out of the way because this could get just a little messy. Let me bring in some paper towels. Okay, so when you do this, make sure that you don't have anything else in the way. If some of the ink, gets when you spritz it, it kind of could go all over the place. So just make sure you don't have anything else around. And I'm just going to spray my block. Not too much, just enough to kind of get that ink moving and grooving. Okay, now I'm going to take that piece of basic white that we had, and I'm just going to boldly and fearlessly just turn it upside down and stamp. Okay, that's all we're going to do. And now we've got that lovely block of color on our piece of basic white. Now this is going to take a little bit of time to dry. So you're going to set that aside and we're going to let that dry. Now I've already had one that I did earlier because I knew it would take a bit of time for that ink to dry. So we're just going to go ahead and use this one. So now I've got the tall dinosaur. I just liked him very much. I'm just going to ink him up on our Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And again, boldly, fearlessly, just stamp him down. Okay, on that, right on that color block. So it kind of does two things. It adds that pop of color and it colors in your dinosaur a little bit. All right, so now we're going to add roar means, and we're going to kind of stamp it half on, half off of our color block. And there's a couple of different sayings. You could have roar means you're terrific in dinosaur, happy birthday, you're the best, I love you. So we're just going to say roar means happy birthday in dinosaur. So I'm going to come up here. I've got my little happy birthday stamp. I'm going to stamp that there. Okay. And then on the piece for the inside, we are going to stamp have a terrific birthday. Oh, hope your birthday is dynamite. Sorry. Hope your birthday is dynamite. Okay. And there we go. Now, there are lots of other stamps in there. You could add as much as you want. There's rocks, there's flowers, there's grass, there's little feet. You could do whatever you want and add to the inside if you want or to the outside. Again, I'm keeping this fairly simple because, you know, we're going back to basics. We're going to keep it simple. So now we're just going to get ready to put our card together. So I've got my Stampin' Seal Plus. I really do like the Stampin' Seal Plus much better than I like the regular Stampin' Seal. Not only does it hold better, I personally think it just glides on better. Some people like using liquid glue for this. I prefer liquid glue for like boxes. Again, you know, what adhesive you use is really just a personal preference. And sometimes it is a function of what project you're doing. I would not use Stampin' Seal for boxes or three-dimensional projects. I would probably use liquid glue or tear and tape. All right, we're just going to go ahead and put that on. And there is our very first simple stamping card with that fun color block technique. And here you can do it in other colors. Here we got the Highland Heather. Here we've got the Balmy Blue. I kind of got a little mistake there, but that's okay. But you can see how easy it is to just kind of add that block of color using your clear blocks. All right, next, let's go and work on our second card. Again, very easy. So I've got our thick basic white. Whenever you're going to use your white for a card base, you definitely want to use the thick basic white. And this is, again, 8.5 by 5.5. I have a piece of our basic black that is 2.5 by 5.5. So that's going to go completely across. I've got 3 pieces of basic white that are 1.5 by 1.5. And then I've got Balmy Blue, Highland Heather, and Lemon Lime Twist. And these are all 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. All right. So this is, again, we're just going to kind of get those dinosaur heads on our pieces of white. So again, we're just using our basic black. All we're using right now is our Memento Tuxedo Black ink. So this is kind of an all-purpose, all-around ink. Now, we're only going to stamp their heads, but you want to stamp, you know, a little bit down on their body because it's going to go off the paper. We want to make sure that we get at least the head. And you also want to make sure that you have a piece of scrap paper underneath because we don't want to get ink onto our foam pad because it will the pad will absorb that ink. And then when you go to do something else, that ink will come up and mess up your project. So always make sure you have scrap paper on your foam pad, your Stampin' Pierce mat. Okay. Let me make sure I got enough ink on him. And I'm just going to stamp our little Triceratops. Okay, and then we've got our T-Rex coming up. All right. And again, just make sure, got to ink it up. And here we go. don't know if I have enough ink on the rest of him. There we go. All right. And there we go. So now we've got our 3 dinosaurs. Okay. There's no rhyme or reason to how I put these on. I just kind of took them and just put them on different ones. So for this, I am going to use a little bit of our liquid glue just because these are kind of small. And I want to make sure that maybe I'm not going to use liquid glue. I have so many bottles here and I don't even know which ones have glue coming out and which ones don't. All right, let's see if we can get this one to, there we go. Now again, little bits of glue. You don't have to have, it's kind of a big clump I got there in that corner. Well, let's hope. By the way, like the Band-Aid hazards of paper cuts. Always keep Band-Aids in your craft room for those nasty little paper cuts. Because the last thing you want to do is bleed all over your projects. So I was pretty sure I had a box down here and it took me a while, but I found them. So just another little FYI. Don't forget to have the first aid in the craft stash. I tell you, sometimes paper cuts really hurt a lot. Right? You ever have one that you sliced it and you're like, that hurts. Forget about knives. It's the paper that's going to do me in. Okay. Okay, now we're going to add these to our piece of basic black. And again, there's very little space from side to side. So this one actually is a wee tad off. I kind of knew that when I cut it. There we go. That's better, sort of. Okay. So there's not going to be much space like side to side. We've got that. And then we've got this one. All right, so that looks pretty good. So here's my little trick. I've got a couple of extra little blocks. I'm going to use it to hold that one down once I sort of get it where I want it. Right, that's kind of where I want it. All right, I got my second one here. Let me go place this one. Okay, that's kind of where I want it. Right, we're going to put that there. Now, I'm going to put on my center one first. And you know what? I think I might actually pop these up. Well, no, let's stay away from the dimensionals today. Let's just keep it basic. But I do love my dimensionals. So if you're an avid crafter, and you feel the need to add a little something, 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 go ahead and pop these up on dimensionals. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, plus with something like this, the liquid glue gives us just a little bit of extra time to make sure that we get that placed where we want it. So sometimes liquid glue is very good. Okay, here we come. I'm going to come in with this one. And remember, I said there's not a lot of space side to side. Okay, and then we've got our last one. But by anchoring that center one first will help you do the remaining left and right blocks. Okay, so I love this. Again, this is like another little kind of color block because we've got these 3 little squares that just give that little pop of color. Now, if you've got a Wink of Stella, you could certainly go ahead and add some Wink of Stella to your dinosaurs if you want to make it a little fancy. Oops, that's the wrong one. I'm losing my mind today. So we're supposed to get between 5 and 10 inches of snow tonight into Monday. And I'm pretty excited because I kind of like one good snowfall a year. And then I'm done. Then we could be done. I just want one. I'm not greedy. I just want one. And I'm just going to kind of put this midway. And because this is 5.5, it's going to be edge to edge. And then I'm going to first, I should have done this earlier. Just got to push that down with my bone, and I'm going to say, "You're terrific. You're terrific." And then on the inside, we're just going to say, again, our little happy birthday. Okay. Now, just remember to go straight down and straight up. Don't rock it. No side to side. Oh, and look, got ink on it. Oh, that might be an option for an embellishment later on. But we'll see. Might put some blue ribbon around there. Okay, so that's card number 2. Let's look at card number 3. And again, I'm using wild wheat. This is not one of my favorite colors. And this is a 2023-2025 in color. So this will be going away in May. So it's only around for a little bit more, but that's okay. I just thought it was a hard color to work with, but I think it works okay for this next card. So for this next card, I've got 2 pieces of basic white that are both 5 1/4 by 4. I'm going to put one on the inside. Now for this one, we're going to stamp a dinosaur, and I used I think I'd use the Triceratops again. And I'm going to stamp him kind of like right there. Okay. Now we've got all of these other wonderful sentiments. So I've got "You're terrific," but I need to clean it because I just did it with the black. And actually I want to put this, because some of these may be going off. So I'm using crumb cake now, and I'm going to just kind of stamp this all around my dinosaur image. Okay. Okay. So now this is where it gets a little tricky. I've got here the roar means blank in dinosaur, but I only want the word roar. So I'm going to take some washi tape. I'm going to cover up the word right under roar. Okay, I'm going to take some wild wheat ink. And we're going to put that crumb cake. We're going to use that again. But for right now, so now I'm going to ink up my roar. Okay, I'm going to ink it up. And you can see I'm just using like the very edge of my ink pad. And then I'm going to take off the washi tape, and I'm going to stamp roar kind of right around our dinosaur. All right, I'm going to put my tape back on. I'll show you in a minute. Okay, I'm going to put my tape back on, and I'm going to ink it up again, just like I did last time. I don't know why this is a little bit better. Link it up again, remove the washi tape, and we're going to stamp it roar. Okay, again, same thing, ink it up. Okay. Stamp it. Okay, and maybe one more. Okay, ink it up. Remove the tape, and maybe one more right here. Okay, I only got part of it. All right, so now we've got that. Now we're going to do one more. And we're going to do, again, a little bit more masking. This says, "Hope your birthday is dynamite," but I just want dynamite. So again, I'm going to take my washi tape, and I'm going to cover up the words on the top. Okay, then I'm going to ink it up again, just using the edge of that ink pad. Okay, I'm going to remove my washi tape. I'm going to kind of stick this in here. Okay. I didn't clean this well enough. Okay. You know what? Paper has two sides. Let's just do this again. That's the only issue here is that you have to make sure your stamps are clean, 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 clean. And I thought I had cleaned it well enough, but I didn't. But let's just take a minute. Let's stamp him. We've got time because I really want this to be nice. Okay, coming back with our crumb cake. I'm going to move this out of the way for now. With our crumb cake and our You're Terrific. Okay, You're Terrific. Okay, we've got You're Terrific. Let's come back over here. Let me clean off my roar again, just to be on the safe side, although it was okay. You can check by just kind of stamping it after you clean it. Stamp it on your scrap paper. All right, that looks good. I'm just going to grab a new piece of washi. And again, I'm just going to cover up the word right under roar. I'm going to just ink up roar on the edge of my ink pad. And I am just going to stamp it. Okay. Again, covering up that word, inking up my roar. And let's go there. Okay. And we'll do one more roar. And we'll do it kind of right down here. Okay, maybe we'll do one more roar above him. How about one more roar? Because we like roar. All right, and we'll do one roar right up here. Okay, there we go. Now, coming back in again with the dynamite that made such a mess last time. Let's make sure that we don't get that silly hope your birthday is. See, it's still got a little. Got to make sure you really get in there and clean it really well. Okay, let's make sure. I think that H is still a little, got a little ink on there. Let's see. That H doesn't want to get all the stuff off. Okay. Let's see it. Let's try it up here. Let's see what we got in here. Okay. Good. Okay. Whew, that was tough. So thank you for hanging with me and sticking with me. I know this is getting a little long. Woo, we're on 23 minutes. But I promise you it'll be worth it. Now I can't find the end of my washi tape. Come on. Well, hopefully I'll clean this one off. All right, here we go. We're going to go dynamite. Dynamite. We've got a dynamite in there. Yay, no mess. And let's do one more dynamite. One more. And we will do that one more dynamite. We will do one more dynamite. Let's do it right up here. Okay. There we go. Good. So now we've kind of got him surrounded by all different words. Right? We're going to come in here. I've got you're the best somewhere. I've got you're the best. And we are going to stamp this in, I think we'll do this in black just because I want it to stand out. So we're going to stamp this, you're the best. All right. And we're going to stamp that right up here. Hopefully that was even. Looks kind of straight. That's good. Now, we want to color our dinosaur. So I'm going to color his frill. I think this is called a frill. I'm going to color this in our light crumb cake. This is a Stampin' Blend marker. These are our alcohol-based markers. They're very easy to use. They color really quickly. It's not going to take us that long to color in this little guy. Okay, and I'm not even really like paying a lot of attention to what I'm doing. I'm just kind of going around and around. And I think this is more of his frill. Is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called. Okay, so we've got that. We've got his little frill in light. Now, let's come in here in some dark crumb cake, and we're going to color in his horns, right? The two there, the one on his nose. Okay, this is our dark crumb cake. Okay, and then we're going to come here. We're going to color in his spots with our dark crumb cake. Okay, and we'll do his little toes too. The little toenails down here. I don't really know if that's what they are, but that's what I'm calling them. And then once we're done with that, we're going to come in with our light wild wheat. Make sure I'm going to grab the light one. Okay, there's our light. And I'm using the brush tip on all of these. There's like the pen tip and the brush tip. I am using the brush tip. And it really does make it go so fast. But here we go. We got our brush tip. Okay. Go there, get all this done. Okay, and then we're just going to finish coloring his body. Okay, go in here and around these spots. Okay, we've got to go carefully just around the spots. Oh, must be getting close to dinner time. My husband's taking the dogs out. They're like, you would think they were Floridians around here the way they have their dinner. They eat their dinner about 4:15 in the evening, between 4:15 and 4:30, because I have a deaf Australian Shepherd mix who is like hardwired to the clock. And about 4 o'clock, he starts amping it up because he knows that he's got to eat soon. And we've tried like pushing it back and said, nope. It doesn't matter what the clock says. There are just certain times of the day. So you can imagine time changes are fun with him. But that's our little Triceratops. Now I'm going to come in here. I've got my dark wild wheat, right? And we're just going to go ahead and kind of add some shading around the eyebrows. We've got these. We've got these little like knees, right? We just kind of like add a little bit of shading. We can add some here. Okay. And that just kind of adds just a little bit of differentiation. Okay, you can like kind of just follow the lines, add some there. And that is our card. Let's go ahead and put it together. Now I'm going to leave the inside blank for now. I'm not going to put anything in there. And I would put it together if I knew where all my stuff was. But I don't know where I put down. Oh, here it is. It's like right in front of me. I don't know about you, but like things just have a way of moving in your craft room. You put them one place and suddenly they're in a totally different place. Does that happen to you? And I'm obviously very messy because I'm getting ink all over everything and I don't know where it's coming from. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's get this last piece on. Now you can see the alcohol markers do bleed through. So once you've colored with alcohol markers, there's no going back. Paper does not have two sides when you've colored with alcohol markers. And that is our last card for today. So I hope you liked these. I had fun making them with you. These are the 3 cards we did today using our Darling Dinos. Again, we just used stamps, inks, and paper. We did use a little bit of coloring on the last one, and we did show you a masking technique. But really, I think any beginner or any advanced can take advantage of these cards and make them. Let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed these. I'll be back this week with some more simple stamping. Again, January, we're going to kind of focus on simple stamping and maybe adding one or two different techniques. And like I said, the Darling Dinos are one of the optional classes that you can sign up for during Creativity in Bloom. It is happening in Winchester, Virginia, March 28th and 29th at the Holiday Inn in Winchester. We've got great things planned for you. We've got 3 make and take sessions. We've got surprises. We've got pajama bingo. We've got shoebox swaps. We've got optional classes. We have a welcome reception. You'll get a goodie bag with about $80, $85 worth of products and prizes in there. So do come. It's on the event page on my Stampin' with Crafty Clock Facebook page under events. You will find all the information as well as a link. And if you have any questions, just leave me a comment. I answer all my comments. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.